one county in Tennessee, you can get out of jail early by getting a vasectomy. Hey everybody, what's up? And welcome to Social Thoughts with Dr. Nick. And look, I'm just going to jump right into it today because this is pretty interesting. There is a county in Tennessee where a judge is giving people the option to get out early. That sounds fine and good. They get out 30 days early. But the men have to undergo a vasectomy and the women have to agree to get a long-term birth control implant. And so far, about 38 guys have gotten the vasectomy and around 32 women have agreed to get the long-term birth control implant. And the judge who agreed to do this said this on record. I hope to encourage them to take personal responsibility and give them a chance, when they do get out, not to be burdened with children. This gives them a chance to get on their feet and make something of themselves. Okay, now, in my head, this sounds eerily familiar to something that happened in the early 90s. So kind of, if you're an old head, this may sound really familiar. But this time, there's a bit of a twist to it. So let's talk about that today. And for those of you who are older, I really need you guys to think back to the 90s or the early 90s and the whole idea around welfare queens and Norplant. Because the idea was many women that were on welfare were just milking the system and having all these kids. So the idea surfaced that, if you have any more kids, we're going to cut your funding. We will cut your social benefits. So many women went on Norplant, which is one of the early versions of the long-term birth control implants. And in my opinion, that was just a not so veiled attempt at social cleansing, where they were trying to delete the poor minorities. Because don't forget, the whole idea around this time, or the big idea at this time, was the phrase or the idea of welfare queens. And in my opinion, that social experiment failed, and many women actually got sick and or died because of the Norplant, and because of the infections that went with it. But at the same time, people are still poor. And so, as I said before, that was a failed social experiment. But with this thing that's going on in Tennessee, in White County in Tennessee, it's a little bit different. And yes, you heard me right, I said White County. Because you know why? It's only fitting because White County is more than 95% white and less than 2% black. You got that? So it seems really unique that a judge is offering long-term birth control solutions like this to the white population of White County. So, and don't forget, for men, a vasectomy is lifetime. And for women, these implants last around 4 years. So I guess if the judge wants to decrease the white population of White County in Tennessee, I say go for it. So in that case, I have to say history is doomed to repeat itself. And so, as I close out this video, I just want to say that I am actually surprised that this sort of social experiment is being applied to white people. Because look, being a person of color and a black person, we've been through this story already. So we already know how it ends, and this story is not going to end well at all. And secondly, I just want to say, look, I understand how the opioid epidemic is really devastating certain states out there in the West, like, Kentucky, Tennessee, Ohio, and such on and so forth. But at the same time, I can't get too upset because I remember the crack epidemic in the early 80s, and I actually got to see firsthand what it did to the city where I was born. And it was devastating. And I also remember what was said about people who were crack addicts. And you know what? It seems like the chickens have come home to motherfucking roost. And that's called karma. And on that note, I'm out. You guys have a great day. Stay tuned. and I'll talk to you soon. All right, bye.